Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the FIFA World Cup. Just kidding, it's the AUS World Cup 2023. Argentina versus France. Got a good losers bracket matchup for you guys here. I'm Fiery Rage, going to be casting this alongside Doomsday. How's it going, Dooms?
What's up, Fiery? Can't believe it. It's the matchup. Mbappe and Messi going at it again. So soon.
Unfortunately, Messi does not exist on the Argentina team. We do have Mbappe, though.
We do have Mbappe. With enough ease to go around to. France was one of the big stories of last week, weren't they? They went up against Brazil, a matchup they were favoured in, but they really didn't have the matchup they wanted. They went down 5-2, and now they're fighting for their lives in the round of 16. Another Latin American opponent in Argentina, who came up against a very tough opponent last time. We'll be hoping for a good result here, but it's a tough draw for Argentina going up against France first round. Many expected to be making it through the winners bracket at this stage.
Yeah, France having an unlucky 5-2 loss against Brazil early on. Just not really looking as strong as we expected them to. One of the few upsets that happened in the round of 32 stage. Argentina 5-0 to Poland, unfortunately. Can't really do much about that. Poland was kind of just pulling out FC after FC. Especially thanks to Ristel, or Malashevsky. So, kind of an unfortunate matchup for Argentina, but looking to prove themselves against France here. Argentina actually did win a couple of picks that both France and Argentina played in round of 32. Argentina did really good on DT2 in particular. So I'm looking towards them picking into speed. France probably going to be sticking more or less with the gimmick-oriented stuff. Probably Hidden 2, Hidden 1, Nomad 4 is a given. We'll probably be seeing Argentina ban one of those three. France would not be surprised to see a speed ban, so Free Mod 3, DT2, or DT3 probably going to be the likely bans here.
It's got to be right. Argentina are definitely a tapping-based team. They want to get into all of those tapping maps. And France is a team you can abuse when it comes to the tapping side of things. They do have to fill players here and there. So certainly they'll be looking to get rid of those maps and really narrow down Argentina's choices. You do wonder how this, as this game goes on, especially if it gets longer than the first 5 maps, where Argentina's picks are going to come from. But I guess it depends on what France turns up today, right? I can only imagine they're going to really want to right those wrongs of last week and really make up for that previous performance.
DT2 ban from France and Nomad 4 ban from Argentina, so pretty much as we expected. Quite literally what we predicted for the most part.
Straight up.
It does leave Hidden 2 open, though, and I think that's pretty notable, because I don't think we've actually seen Hidden 2 played so far. It's either been banned or not picked. So that... And it's going to be a first pick. We're going to be seeing Hidden 2.
First pick Hidden 2.
Not really too surprising. If you know France, you know that they have Okoro, and Okoro is a hidden player. He loves low AR hidden. And they also have backing scores from Flaste and Musty. So France overall pretty well-rounded for low AR hidden. It's going to be instantly picking into that.
Yeah, they got a great lineup for it. Argentina... I don't know how they're going to be doing something like this, and this one, I can see why it hasn't been picked too much. It's a rather nasty low AR pick. It's a multi-skill map, I'd say. Plenty of linear aim in this, plenty of streams with tricky aim, stops and starts in them, rhythm control, 1/6 1/3. There is a lot in this map you have to deal with on that low AR. It's a hard one.
Yeah, no, there is a reason this has been banned out or not picked for most matches. This is, I'd argue, the hardest map in the round of 16 pool. Nomad 3 probably a short second, but there is a bunch of conflicting skill sets that mash into one here. Yeah, but flow aim with hidden, you have low AR reading with hidden, lots of overlaps, direct overlaps, some of which you might need to memorize if you're not too comfortable with it. Lots of awkward angle jumps, space jumps. There's a mix of everything in this map. It's almost like a tiebreaker in that sense. Just with low AR hidden instead of general skill set consistency.
It's like the France lineup's starting to be built, and it writes itself. There's a slot left over, and I don't think you're going to get many bonus points for guessing who that's going to be. I mean, I hope it's around. Mr.
No,
Ricardo.
I'd imagine if they're picking this, he's around.
He's busy.
Probably going to be. He's probably just practicing last minute, hopping it. Yep, there he is.
There he is. That's the lineup. It's a powerful first pick. We'll see what Argentina have in store. It's a scary one to start this one off with those early round jitters, those early map nerves. We'll see what Argentina have for us, though, in this losers bracket matchup. One of these two teams are going home. We'll see which one it's going to be.
It is worth noting that Argentina got number 31 on Hidden 2 overall on qualifiers. France, meanwhile, has number 5. So take that as you will.
Sounds about right.
Unfortunately, I think this is going to be a pretty lopsided first pick, all things considered. Should be able to get into more even maps after this, though. But unfortunately, I just don't really think Argentina has a solid enough roster for this, and you're kind of just seeing that right out of the gate. Struggles from both teams, granted. Musty flashed struggling on the first opening stream there, but Argentina, outside of Milk, no combos to speak of whatsoever after that opening section. Fee and Ikoro still holding on to the FCs. There goes Fee as soon as I say that, unfortunately.
Map opens up so quickly, though. It starts off with a 1-6 stack, so you can't really get into it too comfy, and it caught out Argentina completely. But, Ikoro just chilling. The accuracy's making a massive difference already, regardless of that combo advantage France have. Yep, yeah. This is looking about right.
Yeah, I was not kidding when I said this is probably the hardest map in the pool, by the way.
Yeah, this map is so nasty.
Even if you practice this map requires so much mechanical skill that it's everything needs to click at the same time. And this is something that I'm pretty sure France looked at and said, yep, this is an Ikoro pick, and then just said, Ikoro, here's the keys, go wild. Going to be missing on the linears, unfortunately. The rest of his team actually holds through that. But just by his score already, 200k score lead halfway through the map.
This part in the middle, much more doable, but a little bit of a relative break section, I suppose. France still with all the aces at the moment. Map steps up very quickly, though, in just a moment. That's solo. Fee with the break there on the side of France. Going to take a bit more than that, you think. Flash step breaks as well. That's another one down for France.
Section. Some triples here that might catch some players off guard. We'll see. Catches Musty and Pee Pee Poo Poo off guard. Unfortunately, I forgot I had to say that name on the side of Argentina, but yeah, it's going to be Flash and Ikoro holding through that section. Kagami and Milk as well have built up pretty sizable combos. So if any of the combos on the side of France miss, this could be disastrous. Milk dropping there, though, not going to be helping things.
Take a little bit more than that to pull this one back for Argentina. Kagami doing really well, and Bomlik doing well to hit that solo. But it's going to take a bit more than that. Ikoro, making that miss earlier look like a proper silly miss because he's still comfortable. 97% from Ikoro.
Kagami's trying to put up a fight, going to be missing at the very end here, unfortunately, which seals the deal on this. But yeah, not really that much to say. This is just the France picking into Ikoro method, and it works out very well as he gets 600k on this.
That's probably a good score for this as well. With the amount of skills this tests on the low AR, you need a player like Ikoro to really pull you through. And he is absolutely doing so. And Musty as well. Honestly, all things considered, very decent for a map like this. Great first pick by France. They were given the perfect weapon to start this one off, and they used it very well there.
Yeah, no. 640k on this is probably going to be one of the highest scores that we see on this map this weekend. Not only because this is probably not going to be played for a majority of the other matches, but this map is just hard.
I'm glad we could see it. I was sitting here thinking, I really want to see this map. I know no one's picked it. People are spooked about it. But my boys from France, do me proud. That's a brilliant score by Okoro. I totally agree. The one miss, very well played.
And then immediately Argentina picking into what we were expecting them to pick into, DT3. Here's the 270-ish BPM burst map. Nothing longer than a 9-note burst, and even then only one 9-note burst in a map. It's primarily just your 5-note bursts. But nonetheless, pretty stamina heavy and speed heavy. Should be fairly comfortable for Argentina, all things considered, given their scores on the speed maps last week.
It's a fairly comfy DT pick for the speed teams. Just lots of short bursts, as you mentioned. Very consistent. A lot of galloping rhythms. Kick sliders into a little double on the end. Lots of that. Just all speed all the time. Very little aim requirement in this. France have had to fill a bit on speed. I wonder what their lineup's going to look like for this. They should definitely be careful against Argentina. They've already proved themselves on this style. Flavin's in for Team France here. Flaster and Okoro staying in. That makes sense. But that fourth could be a few people. Could be Charlie. He's been filling for a lot of the speedier tapping-based picks. Could see an appearance here.
I think it's probably likely it's going to be the case. Leaving Charlie, Flaster and Okoro. Same lineup as last time that they had in DT2. On the side of Argentina, going to be Bomilk, Selena, Rico, and Kagami. So the DT lineup coming in for Argentina here, and we'll see how they fare. France looking to put last week behind them and see if they can get some better scores here. So I think in the DT2 last week, they only really had Okoro on an FC.
You're not seeing any BTG4 in for this one. One of the key players for Argentina. Did play a lot of the DTs last week, but not here.
Maybe just a bit too much finger control oriented for him to really feel comfortable on there. There's a bit of finger control here, as kind of expected with a lot of consecutive 5 bursts. So if you're not comfortable with that, then obviously you're not going to be in for this. So far, so good for France, though. Early miss from Flavin, but the accuracy offsets that. So Kagami and Bomilk drop the first misses for Argentina, and Rico to follow shortly after. This is already turning into a disaster for Argentina.
Yes, the opening of this is pretty grim. It's a longish map, plenty of time to pull it back. Sliner holding it together for Argentina, but not for long. All the FCs are down, and it's 3 FCs on Team France. Make that 2. More than enough, though.
The accuracy as well offsetting a lot of Argentina score here. Everyone on France having better axe scores. Flash them maybe slightly below Bomilk, but with an 80 or 98% from Flavin and a low 93. Now make that 92% from Kagami. Overall, France just looking a lot more.
One of those picks where Argentina really needed to make it count, but they're really not. France showing their ability here and doing solidly on here. Charlie coming in and doing well on his first map in this match. Flaster holding it together as well. So this is not the start for Argentina, dropping one of the only speed picks left in the pool. It's in dominant fashion as well. That score lead is flying away from them.
Yeah, not really much you can do. Even with a fourth of the map remaining, it's almost a million score lead. Probably going to get there by the end of the map. And that kind of puts into question whether or not I think Argentina will pick into Free Mod 3, because Free Mod 3 is more or less pretty similar to this in terms of just general stamina burst-oriented gameplay. So,
right. And it also brings in the mod play as well, which only benefits France. So that does become a bit of a scarier pick when you look at this result. And Flavin is holding brilliant Ack. A few misses, but that accuracy is really good. The classic Ack game here.
Okoro as well, not too far behind.
He has 96.8. That 1FC from Flaster is banked, and that is dominant from Team France. A huge pick for Argentina, stolen right away. Goodness me. Nice FC there from Flaster.
Oh, and he deleted the map.
Oh, dude, his job's done. He doesn't need to play the map again ever. It's just gone.
Yeah, well, until it's used in another tournament that he plays, probably.
True. Oh, man, you can see this map another few times, I bet. And Musty jumping right back in, I imagine, for the next pick, which, of course, is France's. The perfect start for them to get that momentum, get that confidence back as well, which is huge for them.
I would not be surprised to see a Hard Rock 1 pick here. France did very good on the Nomad 4 last week, and Hard Rock 1 is more or less equivalent to that, I'd say, but going to be sticking with the Hidden pool, which also makes sense, to be fair. Hidden 1, some high-density aim on the Hidden side here. A couple of 1/3 streams as well, which have a lot of cuts in them, so it's very difficult to consistently hit them. Another one of the harder maps in the pool, I'd say. Not as hard as Hidden 2, but still fairly difficult.
It's still up there, isn't it? It's another map with a lot of different skills it tests. A lot of linear aim in this as well on that Hidden, lots of anti-aim and awkward patterns as well as those 1/3 patterns you mentioned, right? So it's got that control in there too. A map that really does bring out the best in your Hidden mains that can deal with that comfortably. And France really do have those. Fee's back in for this one. Not too surprised there.
I imagine we'll be seeing probably similar rosters from both teams. I know France is going to be running the same roster. That is their de facto Hidden roster. But Argentina might want to swap 1 or 2 players here. See what happens.
They're mulling it over a little bit. The space is being empty for a little while. Taking a quick look at the map, I imagine. It's quite useful for this one, to be honest.
I imagine we'll be seeing Bowmilk in for one of them.
Right.
It's just determining who else is there. PB Poo comes back. Please name change off that. Please name change off that.
Don't be hating on my boy PP Poo Poo, dude. Oh, and Euro's back in. Still no BTG4, actually. I'm a bit surprised if you haven't seen him yet. I guess you don't really see him for these sorts of aim, you know, the 1 picks, I suppose. But he's such a key player for Argentina. They'd really want him around for a match like this, right?
He could be offline or just not really comfortable on the Hidden maps. It's definitely not his specialty. I consider him more of a speed-oriented player and somewhat generic-oriented player, so these maps don't really fit that build. DT3 kind of did, but not necessarily to the extent that he might have been comfortable with. So it's going to be the same rosters for both of these teams, as we saw in Hidden 2. We'll see how this goes. Beginning is quite difficult. Probably going to be seeing a couple breaks here. And that we do. Argentina actually getting the better of France on the beginning here. Still plenty of map remaining. That's just the beginning.
Yeah, the map opens up pretty quickly. Another one that starts out quite tough. Argentina doing well on it early on, but this map's pretty consistent. The harder parts are yet to come.
It's giving them a sizable lead, though, all things considered, as Musty and PB Poo Poo drop, as well as a Muro, so slight advantage to France. Not anymore. Never mind. There it goes right back as Bowmilk and Kagami drop on the same thing. Flash and Okoro now, the only remaining combos on either side. So they are looking to hold through this section, get the lead back.
Holding the fort. Flash there with the good game so far. Going to be instrumental for this one again. Team's recovering nicely as well.
As we approach the next hard part here. Well, shortly after this section. Going to be about 120k lead as we get into the next hard part, starting right here. We'll see who can hold their grit. Koro going to be the first one to drop. That's a massive combo down on the side of France. Just flashed in now. Musty and Fee are back there supporting, but Argentina building up their combo, and with a misses from, oh my god, everyone. Everyone missed. Musty is the only combo remaining, and he's gone.
And the room is dead. That's only going to benefit France, right, with that 200k. That section is no joke, and, well, it can't caught everyone out. Full reset. The rest of the map, fairly difficult too now until the end. But there's no combo for Argentina to fight back with here.
Yeah, unfortunately, a 280k score lead and climbing. With this much map remaining, this is all but France's pick. 3-0 for them. Solid break point.
Making good use of the hiddens. As you'd expect, one of their stronger mods, and no surprises on the hiddens. No doubt. 2 huge wins. You could say that one was slightly scarier, but it was never really in doubt, let's be honest. After the first minute or so. Solid team score there across all 4 players for Team France. Akoro with the top score, once again, on the hidden pick.
Solid stuff from
hashtag, though.
Solid stuff from PP Poople on that as well on the side of Argentina. But definitely overall well-rounded consistency from France there. No one being below 400k on that for France. I think Musty the lowest with 420k or around that. So pretty solid for them, all things considered. But no more hidden maps for them to take advantage of, which hopefully Argentina will be very thankful for as we get into DT1, the remaining double time pick. No more double times after this.
Oh, dude, okay, I'm not sure whose idea it was to put Motley Crue in OWC, but I'm all for it.
Actually, it's Motley Crue.
It's
Motley Crue.
Motley Crue, okay. Well, you know what I mean. It's a banger, and it's the DT1. Not surprised to see Argentina going to DT1, another one of their specialty picks. It's pretty much all aim, though, this. It's not really a tapping map. It's a fast aim map, 264 BPM. But I don't think there's even a triple in this, is there? I don't remember seeing one.
There are 4 triples.
Oh,
that is it, though. And all of them are in relatively calm sections, so you don't necessarily have to worry about them too much. This is pretty much just a single tap map through and through. And finally, the crowd favorite comes in.
It's Mbappe. It's him. Is that the max character you can have in your name? I hope so.
I think so. I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah,
full use of that name change, dude.
For those unaware, Mbappe is Justman, a well-known French tournament player prior to his name change. Has been Mbappe for about, I think, a year now, pretty much ever since the last World Cup, the actual FIFA World Cup started. So, Hifkil as well, going to be making his debut here.
Makes sense, I guess, to get Hifkil in for this as well. One of their key players on Raw Aim. Not surprised to see him come in for this one. Argentina going with the classic roster for their DT, and they really need this one to work. This really needs to work, because you do fear for them if they have to start taking team breakpoints and finding other picks in this pool. We'll see, though.
Yeah, there's a couple of spikes in this, mostly during the choruses. There's a lot of wide-angle jumps that can throw you off guard in those, but outside of that, this map is pretty straightforward. I don't imagine anyone's really going to miss during this intro section. Is when we get to the first chorus where it's going to start being a bit more problematic as we get into it. PP Poop are going to be dropping a slider break prior to it, and that is it for now.
Followed up by Richo there, another FC down for Argentina. Still pretty much 4 FCs. The early miss from Justman there. Not going to make much of a difference. That one will, though. Still 3 FCs to 2 in favour of France, though.
It's going to, at the very least, make this lead grow a lot slower than it... Okay, never mind. Slina slider breaks on thin air. I have no idea where that slider break was, and now this is going to be increasing quite considerably as we get into the next hard part. We're going to need to see France drop 2 of these combos at the minimum during this part. See if they miss on this jump up here. Nope, that's Bow Milk missing, and I think that's Argentina's chance. Gone out the window.
Yeah, that's pretty grim for Argentina. We're halfway through 3 FCs to diddly squat.
There is a jump section immediately after this, so we'll see if France drops any of the FCs going into it. Because this one can catch some people off guard right here. Okay, no. You know, I tried. I tried my best.
Last day was trying to smoke some XD there, but thankfully he didn't choke on that jump. He still managed to hit it. Impressive.
Ifgil still holding on to the SS. Probably not going to be for long, especially with the ending. The ending is pretty hard to act consistently, so I'd be surprised if he manages to hold through that. But yeah, very strong team performance from France on this. Not really anything to say. If Ifgil dropping a slider break, that's so unlucky.
That's caused me physical pain, but holding SS in tournament is like the hardest thing to do ever. I'm not too surprised, but still, his team has his back. 2 FCs, Just Man recovering nicely as well. It's another DT pick taken emphatically by France. The speed abuse has not worked, not even close. France are just too good. That's a good team score, nearly 4 million, showing their aim prowess here.
Ifgil was not happy about that slider break. Only getting 100 at the ending slow down there as well, which honestly is really impressive. If you just don't count the fact that he cursor danced the entirety of that ending and then missed like 5 more times. But hey, 2 FCs to none on the side of Argentina, and that's a solid French break point again. 4-0 now.
A match point, and with the pick, and with so many maps in the pool that should be good for them. It is looking very grim here for Argentina. France with no more hiddens, though. They do have to change up tack a bit. They still have plenty in the free mod pool. And plenty of that free mod pool is quite low AR. As a matter of fact, all 3 of them are AR9 or lower. Yeah, the players that are good for that. Hard Rock 1's also a choice. You mentioned that fiery. I'd agree with you. Get on that. I mean, that Hard Rock 1, Coffins, feels like the ancient style of like no mod tech map, right? Just the sort of aim-heavy map with high SVs.
I mean, if 2018 is ancient now, I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, it's...
No, I get what you're saying, though. It's going to be no mod 3, so I guess France just wanting to stick with the skill cap pool for the most part, since their 3 picks so far have been the hardest maps in the pool by far, so...
Yeah, this map is nasty. Really nasty. So much aim control in this. So many wiggles, zigzags, all sorts of directions you have to chuck your cursor in. And it's pretty relentless too, all the way through. We've seen some very good teams have some troubles on this already. Yeah, this is not the map you want to be playing if you're 4-0 down. No doubt.
Yeah, it's a very hard climb up. Like, at the bright side, if you win this, there aren't that many skill cap maps remaining. I'd say maybe Free Mod 1 is probably the closest to another skill cap map after this, so you do have some room to maneuver, but you need to win this first, and this map's hard.
Yeah, that's all it is to say, really. It's one of my personal favourites in the pool, though, but I do love a good Moth ult map. I just love this style of ult mapping. It's not very friendly in a tournament play. I'm glad I just play it in solo. At least then I can take it easy.
It's a fun map to enjoy while you're playing solo. In tournament, not so much.
Oh. Charlie's back in on something non-tapping. He's a decent all-rounder. I think it's the first map he's played this tournament that's, well, since qualifiers. I guess it isn't just tapping. Very capable on these sorts of maps.
You might be saying, what are they talking about in the chat there? The wiggle patterns. There are a couple patterns in this map which you have to wiggle your cursor to hit properly. You can't just straight line cheese a lot of these patterns, so if you're not comfortable with doing that, which I'd say most players probably aren't, to be fair. It's a skill set that's not really tested that much, cursor control like that. But we'll see what happens. This is primarily flow aim, with a couple jumps here and there. So we'll see how both these players, or both these teams rather, perform on it.
Your last chance salute here for Team Argentina. If they lose this, they are out of the tournament. Immediately, there's a few misses all across the room. 3 of them are on Team Argentina. Not the start they needed. Just Flaste with the early miss for Team France, though.
Not good start for Argentina. No combos outside of that of Bow Milk from that section. Selena building up a combo during the slower part. There goes Bow Milk. Charlie trades it, but they're going to need a lot more than that at this point. Double S's from Ikoro and Musty. There goes Ikoro at the very least. So Musty drops here. Maybe a chance, but Argentina just cannot build a combo at all.
No, they are just getting destroyed by this map. They can't hold a combo through that chorus. Whereas France have players that are holding really well. Musty at the moment, showing his control. Just a 1 on 100, I imagine, there at the moment. He's the only FC in the room now. Flash Edge drops, the smoke's out. But it just doesn't matter. Richo pulling it back though, 300 combo. We need a bit more than that though.
Yeah.
Wiggle.
The old man still has it in him. Musty, the longest tenured French OWC player, finally going to be dropping at one of the wiggles there. But he's done more than enough damage. 500k score lead. The accuracy differential alone is already kind of enough to speak volumes on which team is more comfortable on this.
Yeah, it was a great pick, I think, to pick into this when they had all of the momentum, putting the pressure on Argentina to try and make something happen on a map like this.
Ikoro did not hit the wiggle.
Oh no, he didn't. No. He tried. It was a thought that counted in the chat, Fire.
Yeah, this pick is unfortunately over, and we're going to be saying goodbye to Argentina. This was a loser's bracket match, so whoever lost this is eliminated. France going to be progressing to live another day in the quarterfinal bracket. Unfortunately for Argentina, this is where we say goodbye.
Yeah, this is it for Team Argentina. Commiserations to them. Making it through another tournament, qualifying for OWC once again. Ever presence in the tournament. Ahead now for Team France in dominating fashion. Take this 5-0. It really wasn't even close. This is a return to form for them.
Very solid performances from them on the skill cap maps in the pool. Overall, solid performances in general. 4 million on DT1 is nothing to scoff at in the slightest. So very much a different team compared to what we saw from Brazil's match earlier. We're looking to see if they can keep that form out through the rest of the tournament. So they're going to be advancing.
Yeah, they're heading through. They're playing next week, and Team Romania will be awaiting France next week. That should be a tasty matchup, I think, considering the way this tournament's gone. France looking better, but they're going to have to be at that level to take down Romania, who we know how dangerous they can be. But it is going to be the end of the tournament for Team Argentina. Thank you very much for playing, guys, and I'm sure we'll see you back next year. Always a pleasure to watch and cast you.
We still do have one more match remaining for today, and that is going to be, I believe, one of the few winners bracket matches that we have at the moment. Most of them are taking place on Sunday. It's going to be Germany versus Canada. Christ, why am I saying that in round of 16?
Yeah, it's not just any match, Fiery. This is a very special matchup. This is the sort of matchup you expect to see very late on, but they are going to be meeting in the round of 16 on a pool like this. How do you call a matchup like this?
I don't
Germany
even
and
know
Canada.
how this is. Both of these teams are going to be comfortable on every map. What do you do? This is a matchup for like semis.
If not more than that, it's going to be a proper test of wills, a proper test of consistency and nerves, and just how they're feeling on the day. We'll all find out how that one goes in 25 minutes. I'm sure you don't want to miss that one. I'm sure Zell going to be lurking chat for that one. I can't wait, Fiery.
It's going to be interesting to watch and see what both these teams do, that's for sure. In any case, it's been Fiery and Doomsday. We'll be seeing you guys in about 20 minutes.
Stay tuned.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the OS World Cup 2023 round of 16. We're here for the last match of Saturday and one of, if not the most anticipated matchup of the weekend. It is Germany versus Canada in the winners bracket round of 16. You don't get to say that every year. Two typical powerhouse teams in the OS World Cup over the last several years now facing off against each other on what is relatively a very easy map pool compared to what these teams are used to facing off on against each other. I'm Dio. I'm here for a totally unbiased towards Canada cast alongside Fiery Rage. Good morning, Fiery.
Hope your pick'em goes well, Dio. You're going to need it at this point. I genuinely don't even know how you're supposed to predict anything that happens in this match. This is a matchup we've seen in the losers finals, or grand finals actually, in 2020. This was the matchup between the second and third place teams of that year, and Canada and Germany have consistently been top tier teams since then. Germany obviously 2021 getting second place as well. I think 2022 getting third, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, for some reason, the reason being TwitchCon, we have this in round of 16 now.
Yeah, Germany qualifying in as usual, at least playing the qualifiers as usual, and getting the 6th seed, notably lower than they've gotten in a lot of recent previous years. Canada, obviously, TwitchCon playing a large role in why they are seed number 11. A little bit of de-seeding going on there by accident, I think, from the team. Two of their best players in Zudinator and Xylus had setups ready to go at TwitchCon or at a PC cafe in Las Vegas during the weekend. And despite actually preparing those PCs, they were unable to play up to how they usually could because of technical difficulties with the PCs they were using in Vegas. So about everything that could go wrong for Canada did go wrong on the weekend, and so we see them in seed number 11. This is, as you said earlier, a really tough match to predict, both because these two teams are extremely good, and so even comparing their skill sets is relatively difficult. These are two teams with a really wide range of coverage in terms of the skill sets they're good at, and a very high skill floor and skill ceiling on all of those skill sets, alongside the fact that this is an early stage pool, so this is a far easier type of map pool than we would usually see these teams play against each other on. Notably, though, both of these teams banning out some style of alt map. Germany banning out the kind of swing finger control, aim control alt map in Premod 1, the only OS original this round as well, RIP Torimaru, and the Canadians banning out Nomad 3, that is Cycle by 04 Limited Sazabis. Very, very difficult, high BPM, wiggle-focused alt map, basically.
And a first pick hidden too coming out from Canada, so banning two of the hardest maps in the pool in Premod 1 and Nomad 3, and then immediately going to the hardest map so far in the pool, which is a reason why it's been probably the least picked so far. Granted, the past 3 matches have actually picked this in some fashion, so quite interesting, but this map is all about that low AR reading, and that's pretty much it. Flow aim, couple of weird jumps here and there, lots of weird overlaps which can trip you up if you're not ready for them. This is all about your reading and whether or not you're comfortable at low AR on Hidden.
Yeah, and comfortable at low AR on Hidden is something the Canadian roster very much is. Xylus Cut Paper Yip coming in for this one on the side of Canada. Zuniator not particularly bad at low AR hidden, though it's not, I would say, a strength of hers when you get to those higher star rating pools. I think she can do just fine on something like this, though I could also see somebody like Vesprit coming in. And there's, a little bit of depth of roster for Canada on picks like this. We expected them, when we were talking about this match before the stream started, for Canada to pick into hidden, to pick into reading maps, and for Germany, probably to pick into some of the hard rocks if we had to guess, just because speed is honestly kind of a toss-up for both of these teams. These are both really good speed rosters as well, so it's hard to give either team a decisive advantage on speed, especially if you look at the previous scores from both rounds. There's plenty of maps where Canada's on top and plenty of maps where Germany's on top. So we'll see how the picks end up going. For now, it's Canada starting off with the reading. If they win this pick, their next pick is probably set up to be the Nomad 4 very, very easily. There's multiple forced low approach rate maps in this pool, which is very good for reading teams. If they lose this pick, though, they're going to have a pretty interesting time with the rest of the matchup. So if you're rooting for a close match, you're rooting for Canada to win their first pick. We'll see how it goes here. Opening map of probably the most anticipated matchup of round of 16.
Yeah, combos in this beginning are probably not going to matter. I don't imagine many of the players are going to have combo. On the side of Germany, you have Yari, Kriller, White Cat, Black Dog 5, as he's now known, and Shiox. Kriller and White Cat, I think, are pretty self-explanatory to have on this low approach rate. Kind of surprising not to see Okinamo potentially in for this, but Shiox and Yari more than capable of playing low AR, as you're seeing right now. Yari just beasting on that section. Shiox, a bit of struggle there, but it is tied out with Canada missing as well, with Yip, Cut Paper, and Zudi all missing in the beginning. So 1 FC to 2 in the early stages here.
Yeah, a bit of a better supporting combo, and there goes Yari's FC for Germany. So now you've got tied up full combos. Kriller still on the FC for Germany, Xylus for Canada, with a little bit better supporting combo for Canada at the moment. This map is going to see trades all over the place. This is a very difficult map for round of 16. And you can already see that Yari trading out once again with Yip this time around for Canada. Extremely close on the scoreline, and it's shrinking ever so slightly towards Canada at the moment. But combos relatively even between the two teams. You can see good supporting combo on Shiox and White Cat for Germany alongside that FC from Kriller. These in-between sections can be a little tricky with the finger control as well, but nobody getting tripped up on those as we move now further and further towards the first real Ki time in the map after that really, really difficult intro section. Yip missing on the square jumps there, and that's good for Germany. Still holding on to all 4 of these combos.
I'm surprised no one else besides Yip missed on that wide ankle pattern there, honestly. Yeah. That's a huge combo relief for Germany as we get into the slow section here. There's not really much to miss on until we get into the next flow aim section, which is roughly, I'd say, probably 30 seconds from now. So very decent combo build-up opportunity as we get into the beginning of the solo. Not much really to say here.
All right, let's see how the solo goes. Right now, better combo for Team Germany. Still looking at the FC on Kriller. Still looking on really good supporting combo for Shiox and White Cat. There goes Yuri once again. Not the most important combo for Germany. Yip is going to trade it out once again. There goes the FC for Canada, though. Xylus not able to hold on through the solo, and 3 combos for Germany held through the most difficult part of the map. But there goes Shiox and White Cat. Right afterwards, it's Cut Paper and Zuniator up against the only combo left standing for Germany. It's Kriller, the MVP of this team, to try to hold on to this full combo for Germany. But against these 2 high combos for Canada, it might not be enough. We're going to need to see both of these Canadian players hold in order for them to take the point, though.
That was a horrific misread from White Cat and Shiox on that stack. You couldn't have asked for a worse misread at a worse time. It's going to be Canada now with the advantage going into the last 4th of the map. Anything can still happen. Cut Paper and Zudi holding on to combos that they need to keep at this rate. If either of them or if both of them miss, this is going to be very much shifting over to Germany as we get into the ending here, but not looking to miss so far.
And here we go into the ending. Just a little bit of time left, and it's about a 200,000 score lead. I think even if one of them miss at this point, it's probably still locked in for Canada. Kriller only has so much score left as potential to gain on this play, and that is going to be a successful first pick for Canada. Maybe a little bit closer, especially during the middle of the map. During that solo, it was looking real bad for Canada until we saw that 2-way reset from Shiox and White Cat. Cut Paper going to miss it again at the very end of the map, but reverse choke for Zoodinator, reverse choke and ending choke as well for Cut Paper. 940k for Cut Paper, 830k for Zoody. But you have to shout out the perfect full combo for Kriller, 98.6 accuracy, highest in the lobby. This man can play some low approach rate hidden. He is and has been the strongest player for Team Germany this year so far, continuing to show off in the round of 16.
I see Tim Kackner coming in, so I imagine we're going to be seeing... Oh, okay, Nomad 1 instead. It's not quite the Hard Rock picks, but... Kinda in the similar vein, I suppose. This is all about your aim consistency. Couple of streams in this as well, 184 BPM. Couple of awkward stream shapes, all things considered. It doesn't really get too stamina intensive until the end of the map, but nonetheless, it is something that you have to at least take into account when you're picking into this.
Yeah, I think for most of the players in this lobby, they're going to be pretty okay with this BPM of stream. The question is going to be flow aim when you get to those later parts of the map. But I do think most of these players who are playing the aim map here for either of these teams are going to be pretty okay with that flow aim as well. You've got Okinamo, Kriller, Whitecat, and Tim Kackner coming in for Germany. All very good aim players, also all pretty good on stream flow aim as well. And you've got Zoodinator, Xylus, Stoof, and Cut Paper in right now. Looks like Xylus going to be subbing out for somebody else on the side of Team Canada, though. But these three that are currently in, also all very good aim players. For Cut Paper, especially when you make that a little bit more awkward, a little bit lower star rating on the raw aim as well. This map notably gets buffed on new star rating instead of nerfed. The old star rating for this is like 6.7 something. So the actual aim star rating on this map is not that high. It's in the high 6-star range, but it's not a 7-star aim map. This really gets a lot of its star rating from the streams and the flow aim later on in the map.
There's a lot of kind of precision-oriented aim, I'd argue, as well. Granted, CS4, so not really, but there's a lot of stop-and-go momentum, especially during the choruses. There's a lot of moments in
a lot
those
of control
choruses.
Focus.
Yeah, basically aim control focus. It mixes a lot of different skill sets all together. It's not your traditional Nomad 1, so unfortunately Nomad 1 alert doesn't really apply here, but nonetheless, very interesting to see what goes here. In Germany's first pick, Ryuke, or Ryui, going to be coming in on the side of Canada, which obviously makes sense. So we get into the map here.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. Before this matchup started, I was thinking maybe we see Canada pick into some of the aim maps, but Germany clearly very confident on this, and honestly, so much of these picks are just toss-ups, and so much of trying to figure out which skill set the teams pick into is just kind of spitballing. It's really hard to call the picks in this matchup. I think a lot of it is just going to come down to comfort for the players on these sorts of maps, and if you've practiced a lot, if you're very comfortable on the aim and flow aim and something like this, you're going to do very well. Starting off, just an accuracy advantage for Germany. Nothing to write home about at the moment. Obviously, some pretty good accuracy for just about everyone. There goes Zoodinator, though, finding a miss on the transition into that D-cell stream. So, early combo advantage to Germany as well. Probably won't matter a ton going into the rest of the map, but if we see multi-way full combos, that might end up mattering later on into the pick.
There's another stream similar to that as well, I believe a bit later on. This is the stop-and-go momentum I was talking about in the choruses. A lot of space triples back into not really as spaced. It's all over the place, really. But yeah, there's one more flow aim-oriented section, I think around 700 combo, or just about around that I'm kind of interested to see if these players hit it. It's another potential combo reset area. We see everyone having no issues whatsoever with the stop-and-go momentum. I just want to see what happens on this space stream here. There goes Okinamo on the first one. Cut Paper trades it immediately after. No one missing on that one. So that's relatively equalized for combo. It's still a slight Germany advantage, just off Zoodinator's earlier miss.
And nobody missing on the big spaced quint at the end of the section either. That huge spacing on the 5-note burst can catch off some players. But, actually, Tim Kackner missing right on the jump section after the hard part. It's now only 2 FCs left up for Germany as well. It's combo advantage of Canada off the back of Zoody's reverse choke at the moment with 2 matching full combos on Ryui and Stoof. for Black Dog and Kriller. Can Canada hold on and bring this back into a first pick break point, which would be huge for the match, I might add? Or can Germany bring the combos to the end of the map? I think if you see the two-way full combo here for White Cat and Kriller, with this kind of accuracy, it might just be enough, but the score lead is already minuscule, Fiery. It's gone over pretty quickly towards Canada, and there's the swap now. Germany entirely dependent on further misses from Canada in order to win their first pick.
Oh, there is potential there as Tim Kackner drops another miss, so they're going to need to have another miss very soon for Canada, as no one misses on that space Quint. It's all going to come down to the ending. This ending is a lot more stamina intensive, and chain miss potential is very high. So this score lead can pretty much instantly shift over in a split second. Ooh. There goes Cut Paper again on that spaced quad. There's still more like that. There goes Ryuke and Cut Paper on the same one. Germany holding on strong. Stoof is gone. Zudinator is the only combo remaining on the Canadian side, getting into the first death stream. And that, just like that, 100K now climbing for Germany. And it's all but over at the end.
And we talk about early misses often not mattering, Fiery. I don't think it's going to matter in this case either for Zudinator. There go Kriller and Okinawa at the end of the map, but it's not going to matter. Far too little, too late for Canada to try and take a break point here. It is Germany by 240k, complete collapse from the Canadian team at the very end of the map. Ryuke, Stoof, and Cut Paper all dropping right before the ending stream section. And that part of the map is so combo dense. You know, they get to a sliver of the map left, but there's still 200-300 combo right in the ending through those streams. So dropping right before them is huge. I mean, look at the difference between Stoof and Ryuke versus White Cat's combo on this map, because White Cat got the full combo alongside Kriller 940k. It's a full 300 combo just in the streams at the end. So combo dense, and that cuts your score down so much if you miss right before it.
The space Quints just absolutely killed Canada there. I think they had a three-way reset on them, and that's just unfortunate. It's going to be, at the very least, though, for Germany, a tie game now as we get into Canada's next pick. Going to be sticking with the generic stuff. So it's going to be Free Mod 2 now instead, which I'd argue is kind of similar, not really, to the No Mod 1 in some way. There's a lot of flow aim. There's a lot of flow aim in this. It's a lot more focused on awkward-oriented aim, though. There's a lot of wide angles in this that are very tricky, but nailed down properly.
Yeah, this is a... both because of the flow aim and because of the awkward angles, really tricky sort of map. This is also AR9, 200 BPM, and over 4 minutes long. So your player who is taking hidden only has to be really comfortable with that kind of note density for an extended period of time. This is not a map that you can just, minute 30 seconds, practice it out a bunch of times and really nail down the patterns. You have to be comfortable with the overall skill set. So it's going to favor teams that are generally pretty comfortable on hidden for those sorts of players. That said, you can overmod Hard Rock if you really want to, and Germany has a pretty good Hard Rock team alongside players like Okinawa and Kriller who are fantastic on the hidden. So I don't think that this is going to be a map that's particularly bad for Germany. That said, it's still a pretty good pick for Canada. You have players like Zudinator who are...
They just rolled the same number.
That's a wild roll. What the... Okay, there we go. Back to normal. Anyway, you have players like Zudinator on Canada who are really good at hidden Hard Rock. You have some other hidden Hard Rock demons on Canada and some Hard Rock only demons on Canada. And then players like Xylus and Cut Paper who are going to be really, really comfortable with just flat AR9 hidden aim. So... all that to say, this is another kind of toss-up pick, right? We saw how close No Mod 1 was. This is a really similar style of map to No Mod 1. So you can't say this is really super favored toward either of these teams. You have to look at particular players to pop off. I'm looking at Zudinator to pop off on an aim map here for Canada. You're looking at Kriller and White Cat once again on the aim for Germany. Let's see how this one goes for Canada. It's the Free Mod 2. Very, very difficult map. Very high star rating with Hard Rock, I might add. Something like 7.2 stars with Hard Rock.
And imagine we're going to be seeing Okinawa and Xylus on the hidden, probably Zudinator on the hidden Hard Rock, and Tim Kackner on the Hard Rock. Yep, Black Dog or Right Cut and Kriller are going to be sticking with the No Mod, just getting the No Mod consistency there. Actually, a slight overmod from Canada. Cut Paper on the hidden as well, but other than that, pretty much what we predicted. So it's just going off the raw consistency of Kriller and Whitecat here. I'm hoping that Okinamo and Tim Kackner can hold their own on their mods as we get into the map. This is pretty consistently difficult. There's a slow section about 3 minutes in, which lasts quite a bit, but other than that, it's pretty much non-stop jumps.
Big difference in the mod strategy for these teams on this free mod. I think Germany going with kind of the older style of free mod choice, where you have your 2 best players on the no mod and some other people to kind of tank the mods. Tim Kackner, obviously a very good hard rock player, Okinamo a very good hidden player, but coming into the map, you expect Kriller and Whitecat to be your carry players on an aim pick. So having both of them on the no mod does make sense there. Canada with kind of the newer strategy of have your best players on the mods, give them mods they're comfortable with, and try and get good scores on all 4 of your players through no mod on people who may not be comfortable with just pure aim. There goes Ryuke, unfortunately, on that no mod for Canada. It's still the 3-way full combo for the rest of the roster. Oh, there goes Xylus on the stream, though, on the hidden only, and now suddenly it's 2-4 in terms of full combos in favor of Germany. Kriller still popping off. There goes Whitecat on the no mod, though. There's finally a trade in the first Ki time. Ryuke to trade again, and 3 full combos to Germany for only 2 on the side of Canada.
This is very good combo advantage as we get into the next chorus shortly, I believe. So it's going to have Germany in the lead for now, and Xylus just keeps missing, which is not going to be helping things at all. Unable to get that recovery combo, which is pretty massive on a map like this. We'll see what happens in the second chorus. It's pretty much going to come down to who holds the most FCs during that. Right now it is 3 FCs to 2. Slight advantage in mod combination for Canada off Zudinator Hidden Hard Rock, but that's not really saying that much. And okay, Kriller misses on thin air on a low star rating jump as we get into the first, or rather second chorus now.
And this is pretty big. We talked earlier about, having your quote-unquote carry players on the no mod for Germany. There goes Okinamo on the mod as well, and suddenly it's a collapse for the German team. Only 1 full combo left on Tim Kackner. There goes Cut Paper right before the end of the second Ki time, though. It's Zudinator versus Tim Kackner on the Hard Rock for both of these teams. Hidden Hard Rock for Zudi, Hard Rock only for Tim Kackner. Pretty much identical score at the moment. About the same supporting combo for Ryui and Black Dog as well. A little bit better supporting combo on Xylus, so the score is going to come over slowly towards Canada's side, but they need to hold these combos in order to actually bring this back and not get breakpointed on their second pick in this match. Again, a mispick in a match that is on paper as close as this would be absolutely massive. So holding on during this slow section, tempering your nerves for the last Ki time is crucial for both of these teams if they want to win this pick.
We're going to be exiting the slow section relatively shortly, and it's just going to instantly hit you with some full screen jumps. And we'll see what happens. Cut Paper, don't do that, man. Don't do that.
Yeah,
please. Here we go. Let's see. Right. Star rating jumps, star jumps. Here we go.
Big streams at the end of this map. Everybody holding on just barely. It's still ever so slowly going towards Canada. A little bit of drop in accuracy from Cut Paper. There goes Tim Kackner. The 1 full combo for Germany is down, and it instantly swings over to Canada. Zudinator misses at the ending. It's still the combo for Xylus and Ryui, though. Cut Paper holding on to the supporting combo as well, and Black Dog to find a miss at the end of the map. It's barely going to go over, but it is about 40k and climbing for Canada. Xylus is going to trade the miss from Black Dog, but there's still combo on Ryui. There's still combo on Cut Paper, and there's only a sliver of map left. Canada will barely win this map out, keeping us all on the edge of our seats the entire way through the pick.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a closer map than that. Quite literally coming down to the last chorus and everyone trading misses with the highest combos there. That was probably the closest ending you could ask for on that. Canada, granted, winning their pick. Very close. So probably not going to be too confident in wanting to pick any of the other AIM maps, all things considered, but nonetheless, a win is a win, and it's going to be Germany to follow it up.
Fiery man, like how can we have confidence picking any of the maps in this pool in a matchup like this, right? Like every pick is so close.
Yeah, no, like every single map that we see from both of these teams, I imagine is probably going to be just as close as that. These two teams on paper have roughly the exact same skill sets, I'd argue. Hidden is slightly favored towards Canada. Germany, however, obviously not bad at Hidden. Like, they can play Hidden very well. It's just a toss-up. Like, you can't really expect... You don't know what they're going to do. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't even know what Germany is going to be picking next. They could pick Nomad 4, and theoretically speaking, that honestly would probably still work if they practice the map.
Yeah, there's just so much variance to the picks just based on who's well practiced, who's feeling good on the day, that it's really tough to pick out exactly who's going to do well on what. I do think we'll probably see Germany pick into the Hard Rock at some point in this match, but as we've just seen, AIM is not really favored toward either of these teams by a significant margin. We had Germany with a super close win on Nomad 1, Canada with a super close win on Fremod 2. We're getting something completely different as the next pick fiery. It's the Nomad 2 Jerry Beans by Mystica.
A bit more of a tech-oriented pick on this one. Lots of fast sliders, couple of repeat sliders here and there. Lots of cut streams at 180 BPM. That's probably the main focus of this. It's testing whether or not you can maintain your flow aim through a lot of awkward angled patterns. It's definitely a pick I think Germany does very well on. Like, obviously, the two names that we don't need to mention, Whitecat, Kriller, are obviously going to do well on this, but generally speaking, Germany has always had a very strong tech roster throughout the years. They have never really had a bad tech roster. So, this on paper, I can agree with. This is definitely a good pick for Germany. See what Canada brings to the table to counteract it, though.
Yeah, I mean, there is a pretty good tech roster on the side of Canada this year as well. Players like Vesprit and Yip and Cut Paper, all very good tech players. Zudinator, obviously, pretty incredible tech player. People like Xylus and Ryui as well can fill in for this. So this roster is very, very solid in terms of tech. That said, I mostly agree with you that this is a good pick for Germany. You've got obviously Kriller is going to be fantastic on any sort of map like this. Zeitfrost, Tim Kackner, all very, very good tech players as well. And we have seen them demolish a lot of teams on tech through the years in the Ostworld Cup, whereas Canada has often tended to focus more on the aim consistency, more on the reading, more on Hidden as a mod instead of the tech skill set overall. That said, this is a different Canada roster from previous years. So we'll see if they're able to pull off the improbable and take this break point. It's been 3 very close picks, one after the other, to start off this match. So nothing's impossible in a matchup like this. That said, Germany, a very good roster for a map like this. And again, if you're rooting for a close match, you're rooting for Germany here to take this point. An early break for Whitecat on the very first pattern of the map probably will not matter at all, aside from a little bit of an act lead early on for Canada.
Yeah, kind of trolling in the beginning there. Tim Kackner also finds a slider break early on. Plenty of the map remaining for that to be traded. This is a pretty consistently difficult map, all things considered. Only really one slow section. And even then, that lasts for roughly maybe 30 seconds at most. But right now, both these teams are nailing this section. Just that one slider break from Tim Kackner. Finally going to be seeing more drops. Zeitfrost and Zudinator and Whitecat all dropping at the same time. 3 FCs to 1.5 now as we get into the first chorus.
And Fiery, this map's so short, we're already a quarter of the way through. These drops are big for Germany. It's only 1 full combo. You do have a good recovered combo for Tim Kackner at the moment, but it is 3 FCs and now 0 for Germany as Kriller drops at the start of the first drop in the map. And now this is just looking incredibly Canada favored. Ryui, Cut Paper, and Xylus still holding on to these full combos. 0 intact for Germany. Can they hold on to some combo and just pray, hope for some misses from Canada, because this is looking absolutely disastrous for Germany during this first KI time.
And they got through it, no problem whatsoever. No misses outside of the Zudinator miss on the cut streams earlier. And this is a relatively slow section for them to build on this lead. It's going to be 300k and climbing as we get into the next section. And we're gonna have to pretty much see a 3-way drop from Canada for this to be really competitive on the side of Germany. We're going to be needing to see it very soon.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the combos on Germany, you've got a matching supporting combo for Whitecat compared to Zudinator, but then Tim Kackner is close to an FC versus the 3-way full combo from Canada. I think if we see a 2-way drop, maybe there's some hope for Germany, but I'm pretty much in agreement with you at this point. I think it would need to be a three-way drop for Canada in order to give any hope to Germany, and that has to come soon. This lead is 560k and climbing rapidly for Canada as we come into the ending of the map, and yeah, it's definitely too late. Tim Kackner drops the biggest combo for the team, and this is just over and done. Absolute dominance, a crushing victory for Canada on this pick after 3 incredibly close maps in a row. I mean, this is a massive deal for the match overall.
This is crazy from Canada as well, holding on to 3 FCs still. Zudi only with that cut stream miss. This team score is going crazy. Zudi dropping another miss at the end, but I'm thinking they're going to get 3 FCs on this, and they do close it out with that.
Wow.
Almost a 1,000,000 point. That is insane.
That's got to be the best score on the map this weekend so far, right? Like, this map is actually quite difficult, very tricky, despite having a lot of quote-unquote tame tech patterns in it. So that is a massive score line for Canada as a team.
And there's not much you can do about that. Even if you have double FC on the side of Germany, it's not going to make that much of a difference. 3 FCs. That is genuinely a stellar performance from Canada on that. Zudi, the only miss on the side of Canada, and it's from cut streams. And yeah, breakpoint for Canada as they get now looking towards trying to make that a consolidated breakpoint on their next pick.
Yeah, I mean, and to their credit, it's already 3-1. They've technically consolidated already. They've won their pick right beforehand, but going up 4-1 in this match would be huge for this Team Canada to only need 1 more point with 3 more picks on the board afterwards would be massive. That said, they've got to get there first. They've got to win their pick first.
Also, shout out to Krillerak. I forgot to mention it, but he got 151 miss on that.
Oh my god, wait, that's actually disgusting. That's some nuts accuracy from Kriller. Again, like the best player on Germany's team so far this year, continuing to show off in the round of 16 with the full combo on the hidden 2 first pick from Canada and some really fantastic scores through the rest of the match. Unfortunately, not able to carry the last pick because Team Canada just blew that map out of the water with the 3-way full combo. And now we look to Team Canada for yet another pick. I think that last map should give them a little bit of confidence to do something a little bit unconventional, but they've already won the Hidden 2, they've already won the Free Mod 2, so picking into something like the No Mod 4 would probably be a pretty solid strat. And there they go, second low approach rate map in the pool after they have already won out on the Hidden 2. I think makes a lot of sense. This one, a very different style of low approach rate reading map. It's Sunkissed drop, AR8 No Mod. Perfect stack reading consistency, I guess, is kind of what you'd call this. Also hybrid aim pick, but honestly, the map is 5 stars, so less an aim map and more of the reading consistency.
You say it's 5 stars, but I imagine we're probably going to be seeing quite a lot of misses.
We'll see a lot of misses, yeah. It's hard. It's a hard map.
This is... unless you're very good at low approach rate reading, this is pretty much just a memorization map. There's a lot of patterns in here, which are not friendly to sight read, at the very least. I think that's fine to say, but it's really a practice diff map. Like, this is whoever practices the most does better on this overall.
Okay.
More so than pretty much any other map in the pool, I'd argue. This is definitely the one where if you practice this, you should be okay. There's still a couple of aim patterns which can trip you up, but other than that, Vesprit going to be coming in for Canada, the first map he's been in for.
Yeah, I think makes a lot of sense for Canada. Vesprit, another one of their low approach rate reading players, very good on the skill set. Would be unsurprised to see either Xylus or Yip come in as the last player for Canada here. Kriller, Shiox, Yeri, and Whitecat makes a lot of sense for Germany. Yeri and Shiox, both good reading players as well, especially when it comes to no mod reading when you don't have that hidden applied. And obviously Kriller and Whitecat, both star players for the roster, and also pretty good reading players themselves. I believe Kriller already played this map when it was made for Banger Bonanza in another tournament. So he has some prior experience on the map. Might help out a little bit on a pick like this. Interesting roster for Canada to not have Xylus in favor of Zudinator for this pick, but honestly, Zudi performed really, really well on the Hidden 2. So I think before the match starts, it looks a little weird, but in the context of this match, with how she's been playing on the lower approach rate picks so far, it looks really good for Canada.
I see some early misses here from Whitecat and Vesprit. Whitecat going to matter a lot more due to the accuracy drop. There goes Yari in one of the stacked sliders. No trades on the side of Canada yet as we get into some of the overlapping jumps and I believe a string or burst here. Yep, there we go. It's going to be Vesprit dropping, but still slight advantage to Canada. Very slight. It's going to slowly shift over to Germany, actually. Never mind. There goes that.
Yeah, I mean, this is that kind of map, right? You're going to see breaks all over the place. Yes, it's high 5-star, low 6-star mechanics, but it's AR8 with perfect stacks all over the place. It's so difficult to be consistent in reading this well. And this is the hell section right here. Whitecap missing, Zudinator missing, Vesprit trading it as well with Yeri earlier. It's Yip, Cut Paper, Kriller, and Sheox to hold on to the full combos through that section.
That actually favors Germany. That favors Germany.
Oh, and there goes Yip!
Especially with Yip missing. That favors Germany, and it's going to be shifting immediately
over.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this is a complete collapse from Canada. Oh my god.
Barry, the complete inverse of No Mod 2 happening to Canada here. Full team collapse from the team that picked the map, and Germany absolutely poised to take advantage of it with Kriller and Sheox holding strong. Double S still intact for Kriller. 1x100 for Sheox on this map.
He assessed it. Oh
They're
my god.
They're going to do it anyway.
Let's
SS
go.
and 1x100 on the same team for this map. Shout out to Cut Paper accuracy as well. 1x100, 3 misses, but god damn, look at the German roster for that type of score. Such a good team score from them, and my god, Kriller and Sheox just popping off.
Well, you couldn't ask for a better way to get back into the match. Break point after break point, and now Germany with their next pick. They have a bit of leeway now, at the very least, now that they're not down a break point.
Yeah. All right, and if that doesn't go to show you that this match is just a complete toss-up, I don't know what will. We saw both of these teams trade points on different aim maps. Both of them trade points on different reading maps. And Canada able to take a break point on Germany's tech pick as well in the No Mod 2. So this is just a complete toss-up sort of map. Mentioned this at the start of the match, but I don't think we're going to see speed picked in this match, just as a rule of thumb.
Yeah, no, we're not going to be seeing.
It's such a white elephant. Like, both of these teams are so good at speed that any pick in the speed maps is just a complete toss-up for both of these teams.
DT2, DT3, and Free Mod 3, they are viable picks for both of those teams, which Germany's actually going to go for it. So, you're... Get owned,
really?
Dio. Get owned.
I'm getting owned, I guess. I'm getting owned. Yeah, I couldn't curse the double S, but I could curse the pick strategy instead. So we'll count it. We'll count it. Yeah, Pressia by Yamamoto Mineka. Just I want to say 263 BPM bursts.
Roughly around that, yeah.
264, sorry. Yeah. Yeah,
this is a complete toss-up. This is a complete toss-up. There's no right or wrong for this. Both teams could have picked this, and it would have made sense. Both these teams have insanely good speed rosters for what they're worth. I'm kind of surprised to see it being picked from Germany this early on. I feel like this would have been a pick they would have utilized for their last pick, maybe, if they wanted to risk it. I don't really know what to say. I don't know what to expect from this.
Yeah, I think this is notably the hardest of the 3 speed maps in the pool. I think this is definitely harder than DT2 and Free Mod 3. Free Mod 3 almost certainly the easiest speed pick in the pool. Very straightforward, 240 BPM bursts on No Mod Hidden or Hard Rock is relatively simple for most speed players. DT2 with a lot of finger control in the map, whereas this is very, very aim heavy as well. So you have to be pretty comfortable at the BPM, at aiming this BPM, and with constant, consistent triples and 5-note bursts all throughout the map. So, as well, this is an almost 3-minute pick even after double time. So, you have to be really consistent at it. Roster for Canada is going to be Xylus, Zudinator, Stoof, and Ryuke. Xylus, Stoof, Ryuke, I think in for pretty much every speed map. Notably, Curtis not in for this pick, and Zudinator in instead. Obviously, she has the speed for high BPM short bursts, having, full comboed Tsukinami, for example, with double time. Kriller, Okinamo, Tim Kackner, and White Cat in for Germany, looking to win their own pick and even up the scoreline 3-3 in this match. All four of these players, very, very good DT, aim, and speed players. Okinamo, famously in past years for Germany, has been their X factor on speed year after year.
We've seen a couple of speed players as well mention that this is a name map, so that might influence the decision to put people like Zudinator in. As Zudinator and Silas find early misses, not going to be the end of the world. 3 minutes long, so plenty of opportunity to trade those, but not looking too hot for Canada as Kackner trades one of those combo breaks.
It's going to keep it close, though. Accuracy relatively similar for both of these teams as well. It's just Xylus actually struggling with the accuracy for Canada, giving a little bit of that score lead over to Germany for now. But 2 FCs to 2 now with Okinamo finding a break. Looked like on a slider break there for him. And now combo lead squarely with Canada. 2 FCs to 2, but better supporting combo for both Canadian supporting players in Xylus and Zudinator. We're going to see if they can hold on to these combos throughout the rest of the map. Usually the answer is no to that question, as most other teams have struggled to put up full combos on this pick, but these are 2 of historically the best teams in the OS World Cup, so looking to see these teams surpass those expectations on this kind of map. A little bit of a slow section here in the middle before the next relatively difficult part. Here we go into the next KI.
It's still in favor of Germany off the accuracy. Very slightly. It's going to be shifting over now, finally. But it's still just by a thread. 10k. Very, very slowly increasing halfway through the map, and no one else is missing right now. They are just having the time of their lives on this pick as Canada looks to increase the score lead further and further. Even more so now with Okinamo breaking. It's going to be giving them a very, very massive combo advantages. It's not respond. Okay, there's a response. Ryuke drops. Okinamo follows suit. So a combo trade for both the players. It's going to equalize and still be slightly in favor of, I think, Germany?
Yes.
Potentially?
Yeah, 2 full combos still intact for Germany right now on Kriller and White Cat. Only 1 on Stoof remaining for Canada, but ever so slightly better supporting combo for both Xylus and Zudinator compared to Tim Kackner is the only factor that's going to help keep this score lead on the side of Canada on this pick. But I think there's enough time in the map for this to maybe come over. It's going to be close. We're heading into the very last section of the map here. Everyone's still holding their nerves, still holding their combos. A little bit heavier on the speed in this section. We do get a single 9-note burst right here, and Tim Kackner drops on it. There's one of the big combos gone for Germany, and the score lead instantly goes back over to Canada. Xylus is going to trade it, though. It's Zudinator and Stoof to hold on. Stoof drops the FC! That's the only FC gone for Canada!
It's too late. It's too late.
Oh, man.
I was directly at the end. If it was a bit earlier, it would have made so much difference. But Stoof held on long enough. He barely, just barely, manages to hold on and get the 26k point win. That's why we said speed was a toss-up, because stuff like that is going to happen.
26,450 points in the favor of Canada, but a win is a win at the end of the day. 3 back-to-back wins on their own points to start the matchup, followed by 3 back-to-back break points, with 2 of them in favor of Canada on the Nomad 2 and the DT3, giving them this 4-2 lead over Germany. Match point for Canada now with their own pick lined up. Can they close it out here, or do we see yet another break point 4 in a row going over to Germany?
I'm not even sure what Canada goes for at this point. They lost one reading pick, won the other one. Maybe you want to go for hidden one. That is still open. That's still a possibility. At this point, though, maybe Hard Rock. Maybe you want to try Hard Rock too. I honestly don't know. I'm not really sure where Canada goes from here. They're going to be taking their time deliberating on this.
I'd love to see the hidden one. I'd love to see the hidden one come out for Canada. I know you have a lot of good aim players on the side of Germany with players like Kriller, Okinamo, White Cat as well, but that type of map has been the bread and butter for Canada throughout their streak in the OS World Cup as a top team, and these players on their side are also very good at that sort of map, especially the higher BPM. I think really benefits players like Xylus a lot. And there it is, the hidden one, Between Heaven and Earth by Yosuke Kinoshita.
Is that a Fire Emblem reference?
Perhaps. Is Fiery Raid a Fire Emblem reference?
No.
Okay.
Well. I didn't even know Fire Emblem was a franchise when I made this my name.
What do we got in this map?
Lots of 1/3 streams for sure. A lot of cut streams on those as well. We've seen a lot of players struggle in the beginning because of those 1/3 cut streams. But other than that, primarily focused on your awkward aim. Much like you'd kind of expect from a hidden one, just a lot higher BPM on this. There's a lot of patterns here. There's a couple squares, couple wide angle patterns that can trip pretty much anyone. Generally, probably one of the more consistently difficult maps in the pool. Definitely one of the harder maps in the pool, next to Hidden 2 and Nomad 3, I'd say. So, not gonna be expecting too high of scores, but Canada definitely, I think, on paper, has the advantage here with players like Zudi, Ryuke, and Xylus. Obviously, cut paper as well with the hidden man on the Canadian team, but Germany has their own scary roster on this, man. I don't know.
Yeah, Kirill Okinama White Cat on a map like this is a really scary three-man core to go up against, and with Yeri filling in, you're beating out other players on the German team to play a map like Hidden 1. You know he's going to be good at the map. So I am very scared for both of these teams, because, again, every map in this match has effectively been a toss-up. There were 2 maps that went one-sidedly in the favor of one team or the other in the Nomad 4, but those are honestly a little bit RNG themselves. Cut streams and buzz sliders, famously RNG patterns in this game overall, abound in Nomad 2, and the Nomad 4 this week has been, speaking of RNG, these 1/3 streams catching off so many people early on. Nomad 4 as well, kind of RNG for a lot of the teams, but Ryuke, Whitecat, and Yeri all dropping in the intro to this map. It's a little bit favored toward Canada, only 2 for 1 in their favor right now, though, as they have 3 FCs still intact compared to the 2 on the side of Germany. Not going to do too much damage early on, though, only a 40k score. Oh, there goes Kriller.
A bit more damage, though. Kriller dropping on a slower section of the map. Not traded by anyone in response on Canada. The accuracy difference also making quite a big impact. Yari at 93% right now as Whitecat drops another miss. The 2 players you don't really expect to be missing on this, struggling pretty hard in the early stages here, and no one on Canada is trading in response to these.
Old man Okinamo still holding on to the 1 full combo for Germany right now. Alongside Yeri, their hopes resting on those 2 high combos, and a hope and a prayer for Canada to drop a lot of their FCs. Praying for Zudinator, Xylus, and Cut Paper to miss on a hidden awkward aim with 1/3 though is not exactly the spot you want to be in, down already 230k for the side of Germany. And Canada, with this 3-way full combo, looking to close this match out early, Fiery. They win 5-2 if they win here. Can they do it? Can they hold on?
I'm manifesting the 4-way miss on this chorus from Canada. We'll see if it's possible. We did see it before when this map was picked in other matches. It is possible, but Germany is just not holding on to any combos right now. There goes Xylus. Kriller drops as well. Everyone, okay, nope, never mind. There goes Ryuke. Still 2 combos to 2. They're going to need way more than that, though, as the map is only 1/4 remaining. They're going to need way more.
It's a 450k score lead for Canada, and still climbing with the 2 FCs intact for Zudinator and Cut Paper. There's only so much score left for Germany to accrue, even if they all double S the ending here. I don't think there's enough time left. There goes Yeri. And even if Zudinator and Cut Paper both drop, I think this is over, Fiery. There goes Okinamo to seal the deal. It is Canada taking the match 5-2 on this Hidden 1 pick. 2 FCs still intact at the end of the map for Zudinator and Cut Paper, blowing the expectations away. We thought this was a tiebreaker match, as close as it possibly gets, and it really was. It was a ton of extremely close picks back to back to back to back. But Canada ending up 5-2 at the end of it all, despite how close each individual match was.
You want to know what Canada's reward for winning this match is in the quarterfinals? Take a wild guess, Dio.
Well, Germany is seed number 6. So in a normal bracket in quarterfinals, seed 6 would play seed 3, right? It's only seed 3. It can't possibly be that bad, right, Fiery? Who's seed 3 this OWC again?
The United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want to say that one more time?
We have the potential to see a United States versus Canada matchup in quarterfinals. Depending on whether or not the United States wins against Italy, granted, that is still a potential upset. But seeing that potential matchup, just in general. Welcome to the World Cup 2023, baby!
Yeah, Germany versus Canada, round of 16. Very probably USA versus Canada quarterfinals, assuming USA wins versus Italy tomorrow. That match at 18 UTC. Same time, same place for that matchup if you want to put that down on your calendars. But in the meantime, congratulations very much in due to Canada for winning this round of 16 match 5-2 up against Germany. An incredibly difficult bout against one of the other best teams in World Cup history in Germany, knocking them down to the losers bracket round 2 in the quarterfinals. A huge shakeup in the bracket with how we expected things to go due to the volatility of qualifiers for both of these teams. Incredible round of 16 match. Congratulations to Canada once again. Commiserations to Germany. A hard-fought match with tons of incredibly close picks, but Canada with a very smart last pick in the hidden one to close it out.
On the bright side for Germany, they are in the losers bracket now, and they do have a relatively speaking easy enough time in quarterfinals. They're going to be facing off against the winner of Kazakhstan versus Japan for their first match, and then after that, it's between Turkey, Indonesia, and the loser of the United States versus Italy match. So they still have a pretty good route through the losers bracket, I'd say. Anything can happen, obviously, but they're definitely still one to watch out for in this tournament.
Shoutouts by the way to Kriller, playing all 7 maps in that match, top scoring 2 of them. Same for Zudinator. Same for Whitecat as well. Also, shoutouts to Cut Paper, playing 6 maps in that match, more than either Xylus or Ryuke, and doing very, very well on all of them. Really big stuff from one of the rookies this year from Canada. That is going to do it for us here at the World Cup for today. We have tons of matches lined up for you tomorrow. Another 8 of them coming your way. Australia versus Chile and Mexico versus Singapore about 9 hours from now at 4 UTC on Sunday. Set your calendars for the rest of the day as well. We've got a bunch of matches at 13 and 14 UTC. Great Britain versus Ukraine at 15 UTC. And then, of course, the last match of the weekend, or second to the last match of the weekend, USA versus Italy at 18, and Poland versus Brazil an hour after that at 19. Thank you all for watching. Thanks to Fiery for casting with me. Thanks to our operator and referee behind the scenes. Congratulations again to Canada, and good luck to Germany in the losers bracket. We'll see you all back here at OSU Live at 4 UTC for Australia versus Chile.
See you guys then.